want to make money in the Crew 2? Well, who is more qualified than someone who just hit 99,999,999 bucks again? Not only do I have closer to 6,000 hours in the Crew 2, it's my job, don't worry, this is my job, but I've earned 400 million bucks in my time playing this game, and I've earned that legit. What's going on, boys? My name is SidWaj, and welcome back to the channel. The Crew 2 is back, and it's been about a month since everyone's been jumping back on the game, so you might actually have some stuff now, some actual parts and stuff, and some experience in the game. And the Crew 2 is over. It's not getting a single other update. So this is not only a SidWaj remaster, as the previous money guide is still technically accurate, just of lower quality, and not conscious of the fact that, well, this is the final definitive money guide for the Crew 2. This is a money guide that will never, ever need updating again. So let me show you the real money method. And if you want to potentially 2x or 3x your money, first you need this section. We start with the one I mentioned, the one that is, well, parts. You already know that just like the event that I just finished, you get parts for doing events. Those parts are better quality based on the difficulty of the event that you do. Then you have to recalibrate these parts. It's as simple as going onto them, clicking the recalibrate option, holding down, and then selecting either a randomized percentage on the affix you have currently, or a different affix. Getting the different affix until you get one of the two you want. Now, if you want a slower grind, but you want followers as well, set up this set of parts by using the unchangeable affix at the very end. That one's fully luck-based, getting that one, and then using those parts to activate the bonus when you have all of them. However, this is what a parts grinding set looks like. You want to have, in total, every single one of them be nitrochemist, so you can get quicker and quicker runs. Especially for the specific hypercar grinding method, you want to have at least 3 parts with frenetic on them. The power increased per second of nitro usage. Then every single one of them needs rich, up to 3%, and the last 4 remaining slots should be taken up by pure, the nitro power affix. This is your meta grinding set in hypercar, but there's 2 other specs that are important for money grinding. That is street and powerboat. For street, you can just use refill speed on the parts instead of frenetic, so replace the 3 frenetics with 3 refill speeds, and the same goes for powerboat. I'm hoping that by this point you already know about icon points, and icon points are this. Points you get per level that you can then go into here. These should be maxed out by a certain level. And then when you're over here, you want to make sure you have pure extra pump ventilators or any of these nitro ones that matter. You can have these fully maxed out, and then everything you have left should go into rich. If you don't have enough to max these out, then I guess put them onto rich first, and then put them onto this when you've got enough. But it's still important to have. Even if it's minusing 150, you want them on this, and then on rich, which obviously will increase your bucks gain. Now, a lot of this stuff is expensive to do, and I understand that. So if you want quick money, as well as beginner tips, that's going to be in a different video that I will link in the description. As in this game, you gotta have made money and have money to make more money and get more money. And people say the Crew 2 isn't realistic. And while we're in the tips section, just something you gotta know is for every single car in the game, 0, 0, 10, 10 is a brilliant default settings to put on your car. As for anything with 4 wheels, it just makes it handle a little better. There's other nuanced parts and pro settings that are probably like, I don't know, 0, 9, 2, 1, whatever. But generally, if you don't want to look up specifics, 0, 0, 10, 10, any car you see. That's all the tips and tricks, so let's finally get into method. The money methods in this game are nothing short of massive. As to begin with, this is your 3 million bucks an hour method 2. Harlem West. This race in New York is obviously found down in up in Harlem. I forget. I forget. Over here on the map at the top of Manhattan, you can find Harlem West. In the pause menu, it's after a bunch of gimmick races over here. It's one of the first races you unlock in the second level popular. You want to remember to play this again on Ace, the highest difficulty. Your parts should look like this. More about that in the tips and tricks section. And the best car you want to use that you should save up for is the Countach LP5000 Quattro Volvo. Quattro Volvo? The Countach is the best car in Street to use. And this race is a lot more shortcut heavy, so let me show you. This is the Harlem West route. First of all, I do want to mention, yes, this is the quick money method as well. You want to cut over this grass. This money method lines up with the quick money simply because it's a street car. But if you do it at a high level, it is, well, the second best method. Cut grass over here as well. Then beeline it straight for the checkpoint without worrying about the roads. Now, keep looking at these trees. These are the two trees you cut in between. Brake, and then left. Now, going around this turn is simple in the Countach at least. Ignore the shortcut that I sometimes show for there, as it's slower. Nitrous always at the top of the tank, and over here, stay at the left side of the road. That way, you get a very clean return to this road, and it's not as inconsistent as that jump normally is. Go in tight here, and then let me show you lap 2, because, okay, grass cut here, checkpoint wide. Let me show you lap 2 because, well, I obviously was very quick with my explanations before. Shortcut here, grass cut again, beeline it for the checkpoint. Then, oh god, these two trees, in between those, slam on the brakes and then go around the left. Be careful with this one, as you can go wide on that turn. Skip this shortcut, which I normally used to take, but it is slower. Then, make sure you get a fair bit of nitrosing in here. Stay left on this side. The closer left, the better the outcome on here. Lean down as you're in the air. Then it's as simple as just, I don't know, race good. Do a good line like that and a good line like that. I mean, woof, was that a run? And that was a 1 minute 42. A pretty okay run. I mean, that puts us where? I mean, that's not even my best run, right? That was 3 seconds slower than my best. And my best is like 300. Obviously, for money grinding, you want to immediately restart the race. This method is good as a quick money method, as it's a street vehicle, one of the first vehicles that you have in the game. But it is a lot more difficult to do over and over again than the other two methods on this list. Especially more difficult than Uber Dam, and definitely more brain active than high-speed takedown. And now let's move on to method 2. This is your 3.26 million bucks an hour method 2. So you want to be using a powerboat. You want to use the Froscher 1414 Demon as your go-to powerboat, as it's the best powerboat in the game. As it comes to parts, you want to be using parts that look like this. I explain more specifics in my tips and tricks section, but here's some pro settings that I use personally on the game. And method 1 is Uber Dam, that you can find over here on the map. Surprisingly enough, it's in Uber Dam. And it is also the first powerboat event over here, and you want to make sure you're doing it on Ace, the highest possible difficulty. I do clarify that because things will be different for other methods. There is a cutscene you have to skip, but before I show you the route, let me give you some more tips on this specific method. And that comes to boats. Boats are annoying. They're a nuisance. So in game settings, if you're on console, head down to invert Y-axis and invert it on a boat. That means that you can, yes, I flipped my camera. When you're controlling a boat, you can go up to lean rather than having to go down to lean, making the control just very much easier. However, if you're on PC, head over to controls and you'll be able to change your controls and swap the binds for lean back and braking. So you can literally just hold the two the whole time. This is the route you want to take. Immediately as you begin, you're gonna have a bit of trouble dealing with the AIs and their wake behind them. So go right to the right. Then remember that you can go slightly to the right of checkpoints. You get that, and you're gonna have to jump over a few here, and then go to the left of this, again, wide from the checkpoint, so that you can cut in here. And then there's that little space to get through the buoys. You can start nitrosing, take tight turns. Boats are big and boaty, believe it or not, so you can take big, wide turns and use that to your advantage. Cut through this little bit here, get a little bit of extra speed. You don't never really want to use your full NOS in a boat, just sort of keep tapping. When you get to the dam, obviously flip your lean angle. lean down, but then make sure to lean back again early so that you don't get submerged into the water. Then you're sort of open until you get to the more jumps and stuff that you want to avoid. Jumps are always worse in the Crew 2. Over this one, you want to go to the left of the jump, as there's just a quicker way around, and just cutting through there. And then this jump is a bit more annoying to avoid. You don't want to go all the way around. You want to cut right in between these two, and then again, just avoid the buoys. You get better at boats as you go. That is the route of Uber Dam, finishing at a 1 minute 16. That's a slow run, if anything. I would recommend this race if you want to just do something else while you're grinding. It's one of my favorite ones, as you can have YouTube on the second monitor. I don't know, watch TV, watch something on your phone. You can do something else while playing this method. So it's one of my favorites. But you do have to get boat parts, and that does make it very annoying. But obviously, if you're grinding money, you should restart the race right away at the very end. And now finally, the big one, method. But first, no, Harley Davidson isn't the best. More money per one event does not mean better grinding event. It is bad for money, this event. Not only that, grossly unenjoyable. No, New York is not the best, for the same reasons, minus the unenjoyable bit. New York is a fine money grind, and I'd recommend it, as it's genuinely an enjoyable race to do when you know all the methods and stuff. No, none of the drag events are the best. They come in, the best one comes in at 4th place. Yes, Bayou Break is very good, and is a runner-up. I mean, it's still very good and could contest with High Speed Takedown, but for the sake of, High Speed Takedown is still better. It's not better than High Speed Takedown, it just is good on its own merit. This is High Speed Takedown, the absolute best method for money in the Crew 2. This method will make you... It's quite the jump. Prepare for this. We went from 3 million an hour. This will make you 5 million an hour. This is an insane method. In fact, this method is so good that it's the best money method for Motorfest. How does that even work? If you own the Crew Motorfest, well, 90% of the car list is the Crew 2's car list. So if you turn on vehicle transfer in Motorfest, which updates as you get new vehicles, playing the Crew 2 is actually the best money method, because if you make money in this game and buy the get cars here, it's cheaper and quicker money than doing the same thing for the same car in the Crew Motorfest. That's insane. The car you want to be using is the Chiron Interception Unit. It is expensive, so use Harlem West or Uber Dam to get to this point, but this car is the one you want to use. The parts you want to use look like this. More information on that in my tips and tricks section. The event is located here under Seattle at the top left of the map, and is not too far in to Hypercar, as it's the last police-based event. And you want to do this event on easy. This needs to be done on the lowest difficulty, as what the difficulty changes is just the amount of people you need to take down. And obviously, you want the less amount of people. The more money does not cancel it out. Let me show you what to do. And as I do that, look, I have to, it's the best point too as well, subscribe. Head down there, subscribe, check out some of my other content. I will and should and have been doing a bunch of content on the Crew 2, the Crew Motorfest. Here we go. What I like to do is I like to go straight for the second guy, as I don't have enough speed to get this first guy straight away. And then you go for the second guy, and then they also start spawning in immediately after. One thing that you want to note is that if you are going roughly 220 miles an hour, you will kill them instantly. And also, you want to stay to the side, so that not only do you get better hits, as you get this sort of hard angle, not that, you get this sort of hard angle, but you can immediately go on to the next AI if you're hitting them in the sides like that. I'm gonna do as a grinder and hang on, wait. I'm gonna do like money grinding and immediately restart and show you again. So, straight away, beeline it, there you go. Again, you always want to go for diagonal hits like that, so that not only can you go straight to the next one, you can also maintain way more of your speed, get immediate hits, and just try and stay above 220, because then you get one hit. That was an insane run, by the way. What? I don't even know how quick that one was, but like, what? Okay, well, I have an 18-second run in this. Oh, well, that's a great way to end the video. It'll always be the crew too. Thanks so much for watching this money guide, and I hope it helped, and rest in peace the crew too. As they're not updating, this money guide should follow you all the way through to when the game is offline as well. So, this was the definitive money guide in the game. Thank you so much for watching. That's about it from me. Thank you so much for 100,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in the next one in a bit. What? I have never heard that. I have never heard that line before. I'm just. I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get.
Let's see what you
to
got on
lap
that
2
hood.
again because I crashed on the original lap 1, so I'm just gonna cut to lap 2 again and I just keep crashing, but I've never heard that line before. What? For 6,000 hours. 6,000 hours in this game. And I have not once ever heard that voice line. It's insane. That is insane.